What up, though, y'all? It's Chris. Appreciate you connecting with me while I do my 10,000 steps. I'm out and about downtown Birmingham. It's a well-to-do suburb, bit north of Detroit. See a lot of exotics here, Lamborghinis, Porsche 911s, if you can even call those an exotic. But you see M series BMWs you don't usually see. It's one of them spots. But let's talk about Caitlin Clark. We saw the Indiana Fever. That's the team she plays for. They got eliminated in the playoffs. It was her first ever playoff game, and she got a hell of a welcoming, if you even can call it that. She got an eye poke 2 minutes into the game, and there was no foul called. And the WNBA really wasn't talking about it, and sports news really wasn't talking about it either. And I find that to be really odd because, look, Caitlin Clark, she has brought a lot of eyes to the WNBA. All right, you could like her or not. This is an undeniable fact. Caitlin Clark has brought a lot of attention to the WNBA that it otherwise was not getting. The girl has been good for business. It's sweeping changes that have happened as a result of her coming to the league that players should be, I don't want to say grateful for, but at least, a little bit appreciative of. Some may say that's the same thing. But damn, you ain't got to kiss the girl ass, but at least show her a little bit of appreciation. Even if not directly, show her appreciation by at least not trying to kill the girl while she on the floor with y'all. There are some that do appear to be jealous of her. This is something that's kind of been talked about. I saw Stephen A. Smith touch on it a little bit. But it seemed like he got to touch on it more on his little podcast that he do. Well, I don't want to call it a little podcast. I don't want to downplay his achievements. But his podcast that he does, it seems like that's where he mostly talks about it. And I wonder if there's a reason for that. I wonder if it's because ESPN doesn't want him to really speak negatively on things happening in the WNBA. So here's what happened. 2 minutes into the game, Clark has the ball. Her defender, the young lady, makes a play for the ball, open hand like this, right? She misses and then does her hand like this and downward and pokes her right in the eye. Now, listen, I've played sports all my life, especially basketball. That is not a basketball play at all. That was not a play for the ball, and it most certainly was not an accident. You don't accidentally do something like that. Again, she had an open palm hand like this, all right? And when she misses the ball, she then does this and goes right at her eye. This is a series of actions with your hands that you don't do by mistake. That was totally intentional. And then to make matters worse, she had on some fake nails. So, this could have really been some serious damage. And I've never seen a play like that be done, in the NBA. I haven't seen that play be done before in the WNBA. Admittedly, I don't really watch it like that, but I've paid more attention this season, because Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, it was kind of, fun seeing a rivalry, going back and forth. The media was playing it up like, good versus evil and all that sort of stuff. Who you want to believe is good and who you want to believe is evil, that's up to you. But their good versus evil portrait that they were painting between the two of them, it got me interested. because I saw what was happening with them in college. So now in college, it looked like Reese was getting the better of her, but in the pro league, Caitlin Clark has been, in my opinion, she's been the one winning their rivalry on the professional level. But I don't know, man. Like this, and I'm not some Caitlin Clark fan, so let me just go ahead and throw that out there. I rock with Angel Reese. I like her. I like the whole Bayou Barbie thing that she got going on. But I can appreciate what Caitlin Clark is doing for the league. The effect that she is having is very positive, and you can't deny that. She as a result of her being there, suddenly the players get chartered flights. Where before, I mean, you might see them on Spirit right along with you. You jumping on a plane to go somewhere, you might see them on Spirit right along with you, right? It was very much, a poverty situation going. They were not chartering flights like they do for the men. Now, with things the way that they are, it's an improvement. You had players like, for instance, take Brittany Griner. All right, after the whole thing that happened, whether you agree with it or not, some agree with it, and I understand their side. Some don't agree with it. I certainly understand their side. But when she be seen in public at the airport, she would get haggled. She would. People would have their cameras out, ready to give her a hard time, because there's a lot of people that really didn't like the fact that she got in trouble where she was, committing a crime. Was 10 years too much? Yeah, absolutely, for what she was doing. But that was too much time based on us, based on our standards, our way of life over here. Over in these other places, they don't take these things as lightly, and they especially don't like when foreigners come there and break the rules. So was there some, example they were trying to make out of her? Absolutely, because the 10 years just seemed like, come on, y'all just, like, really? So they ended up exchanging her for Victor Boot, a guy that was known as the Merchant of Death. There's a lot of people that had a problem with that. So when she be out and about, she was getting haggled. And the end result was, she kind of quit playing early last season. This season, Caitlin Clark comes into the league, and now you got chartered flights. They weren't going to have, their seemingly golden goose out there jumping on American Airlines and whatever else, Frontier. They weren't about to have her out there. So just like that. And it looks like the paydays are also going to take an increase as a result of the newfound revenue. Like, there's been interest in the league like there never has been before. And it's all because of Caitlin Clark. Really, as I said, you may not like her. I'm not exactly a big fan of her, but I appreciate what the young lady is doing for the league as a whole. So the taking the shots at the very person that is encouraging changes, and she's not even speaking on these things, just her existence is encouraging these changes. Taking shots at the very person that's encouraging changes to happen in the league that you're benefiting from, I don't understand that, man. That's hustling backwards. That's hustling backwards for real. And I mean, what do you hope to gain from poking somebody in the eye like that? That's just crazy. And that's one of those things, and this is why y'all got to be careful what y'all do to people. That's one of those things that if you hurt her and she has like some permanent injury behind it, fortunately she didn't. But that's one of them things that later on in life you're going to have regrets about. You're going to be crying, begging for forgiveness. I was so stupid. I was this, I was that, or whatever. It happens all the time in sports. So just be careful how y'all move stuff, folks. Like, some of these things, that people be doing, it just be nasty for no reason. Again, I'm all for being competitive. I'm a competitive person myself. As I said, I've played sports all my life, but I know some BS when I see it. You could watch that over and over and over and over and over. There is no explanation you can give me to where you would ever convince me that was an accident. All right, there's just no way. And then the way the league is kind of avoiding talking about it, because, people seen it. People were saying, some nasty stuff, But the league's focus became the way the public was responding to what happened and not the incident itself. There was all this talk about racism and misogyny and homophobia, whatever, if that's the word for when women are with each other. I don't know what the appropriate word is, but they were making more of an issue out of the way people responded to what happened than what happened. Girl's laying there on the floor holding her eyes. She's clearly hurt. And another thing of how I know that it was some BS, it was not on accident, is because after she poked her, she went looking away like she don't know what happened. When people do that, when something is truly an accident, when someone does something and they don't mean to, they're immediately apologetic, even if you're on opposite teams. There's some, my bad, I'm sorry, are you okay? There's some show of, caring for the person who you unintentionally hurt. And there was none of that. She go looking around or whatever, as Caitlin Clark goes falling to the ground, and she acting like she didn't see that. That's that BS. When people do stuff like that, when they act like they don't know what's happening around them, they're just so confused. They meant to do it, man. They totally meant to do it. So I don't know, man. The WNBA it's gotten better. They got some real ballers. I've been paying attention to that one girl on the Aces. I don't want to mispronounce her name, but I think it's Ajay Wilson. Man, that girl cold. For real, she a baller. They need 10 more of her in the league. They can get 10 more of her in the league. I just might start watching it for real instead of just kind of passively, checking in and seeing what's going on. I might actually start watching for real. They still gonna be missing the dunk aspect, but in terms of, handles and shooting, girl is a hooper, for real. She's a hooper. I wonder if she grew up around nothing but brothers, because she be hooping that cold dude we all knew growing up. Let me get back to doing my walking, man, here in downtown Birmingham. Just had to get out and about and get some decent scenery, or different scenery is more like it. But I appreciate y'all. Leave me them comments, thumbs up. Talk to y'all later. Peace.